Guido Barbujani is an Italian population geneticist, evolutionist and literary author born in Adria, who has been working at the State University of New York at Stony Brook, at the Padua and Bologna Universities, and is now a professor at the University of Ferrara since 1996. Works. A population geneticist by training, has been working on several aspects of human genetic variation. In collaboration with Robert R. Sokol, he pioneered the statistical comparison of patterns of genetic and linguistic variation, showing that language differences may contribute to reproductive isolation, and hence promote genetic divergence between populations. His analyses of geographic patterns of genetic variation in Europe support Luca Cavalli's Fort's Neolithic demic diffusion model, i.e., the idea that farming spread in the Neolithic mainly because farmers did, and not by cultural transmission. 2. Implications of this finding are that most Europeans' ancestors did not live in Europe, but in the Near East up to Neolithic times, and that in the westward expansion the early farmers carried with them the genes, the technologies, and possibly the languages too. His studies of the amount of DNA differentiation among human populations, and of its spatial distribution, led to the conclusion that traditional human racial classification fails to account for most of the existing patterns of genetic variation. Rather, it seems that genetic variation is largely uncorrelated across genes, which, if confirmed, would explain why no consensus was ever reached on a catalogue of human biological races. This activity has also resulted in publications for the general public. His recent DNA studies focus on genetic characterization of ancient human populations, such as Paleolithic anatomically modern humans of Cro-Magnoid morphology, the Etruscans and the Neolithic Sardinians. Barbujani is the author of 3 novels. Quote, "The idea that all humans naturally belong to one of a few biological types or races that evolved in isolation was unchallenged for centuries, but large-scale modern studies fail to associate racial labels with recognizable genetic clusters." Quote. Scientific bibliography. Barbujani G. and Sokol are zones of sharp genetic change in Europe are also linguistic boundaries. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences USA 87 to 1816-1819. Barbujani G. Magani A. Minci and Cavalli S. Forza L. An apportionment of human DNA diversity. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences USA 94 to 4516-4519. Barbujani G. and Bertrel G. Genetics and the Population History of Europe. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences USA 98 to 22-25. Cicchiel, Destro Bisol G. Bertrel G. Pascali V. and Barbujani G. Clines of nuclear DNA markers suggest a recent Neolithic ancestry of the European gene pool. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences USA 95 to 9053-9058. Romuald D. C. Balding D. Nassid A.I. Estrich G. Robichaud M. Sherry S. Stone King M. Batzer M. and Barbujani G. Patterns of human diversity within and among continents inferred from biallelic DNA polymorphisms. Genome Research 12 to 602-612. Barbujani G. and Goldstein D. B. Africans and Asians Abroad. Genetic Diversity in Europe. Annual Review of Genomics and Human Genetics 5 to 119-150. Dupin Lupin, Bertrel G., Cicchiel and Barbujani G., estimating the impact of prehistoric admixture on the European's genome. Molecular Biology and Evolution 21 to 1361-1372. Barbujani G. Human Races, Classifying People versus Understanding Diversity. Current Genomics 6 to 215-226. Belli, M.S. Ramakrishnan U. Mountain J. and Barbujani G. Serial coalescence simulations suggest a weak genealogical relationship between Etruscans and modern Tuscans. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences USA 103 to 8012-8017. Caramelli D. Milani L. Vias Modi A. Peccioli E. Girardi M. Pili E. Lari M. Lippi B. Ronchitelli A. Maligni F. Casali A. Bertrell G. Barbujani G. A 28,000 years old Cro-Magnon mtDNA sequence differs from all potentially contaminating modern sequences. Plot 13 E2700. Girotto S. Mona S. Bonazzo A. Paparazzo F. Caramelli D. Barbujani G. Inferring genealogical processes from patterns of Bronze Age and modern DNA variation in Sardinia. Molecular Biology and Evolution 27 to 775-786. Barbujani G. and Kalana V. Human Genome Diversity, Frequently Asked Questions. Trends in Genetics 26 to 285-295. Bibliography. Barbujani G. L'Invenzione del Raz. Bompiani, Milan. Portuguese translation. A Invenção das Racas. Editora Contextos. São Paulo, Brazil. Barbujani G. Ancelli P. Sono Razista, Masto Cercando Dismeta. Latizza, Rome Bari. Barbujani G. Europe senza sce senza ma. Storia di Neanderthaliani e di immigrati. Bompiani, Milan. Bibliography. Dilettanti. Marsilio, Venice, 1994. Dobogera, Cerrone, Milan, 2002. Questioner di Razza, Mondadori, Milan, 2003.